mistake. Well, who did he see when he heard who was there? Now it seems that he should.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Log Room Guys Craft Beer Show. It is Tuesday, August the 1st, 2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you. With me, as always, is none other than Mr. Beer Samurai. Say hello, Mr. Samurai.
I don't think that's correct. I think it's once.
Once. August the 1st.
Right, it's the number one with the ST after. So
right, once. It's not once, it's once.
WUNST with a umlaut over the U.
Oh, okay. Once. I got you. Once.
It's like worst, but only one.
Right. Well, what would be one RD? Would that be word?
Word.
August the word. All right. Anyway, so how are you on this fine August 1st evening, Samurai?
Getting my specs clean here so I can read stuff.
That would be interesting. That would be important, actually. Not interesting.
Yeah,
Well, it would be interesting too, but that's besides the point.
I probably don't need to read a lot for this show.
No. This is not a
actually that's actually frowned upon. We don't
reading. I was told there would be no math or reading on this show.
We don't want educated.
No. So I got so oddly enough, last night, my neighbor knocked on my door at 2 a.m.
That's actually, from what I understand, not an odd occurrence.
And I went to the door and opened it up, and he says, "I'm having really, really a hard time sleeping." He says to me, and I says, "Well, lucky for you, we're having a party. Come on in." No, not funny.
Yeah, I see what you're.
Right.
The thing is, I was trying to get up the sound effect thing because I needed the rim shot whole thing here, and it's just takes so long to load, and it's got to run a friggin' ad, and then I've got to pull up the my favorites, and then I got to do that, and then say the punchline again.
So I said, "Lucky for you, we're having a party. Come on in." There we go.
Right, fine. Took way too long. Sorry.
Yeah, it's funny because he's the same guy that told me that icy was the easiest word to spell in the English language.
I see.
And then I looked at it and I see why.
He'll be here all weeks, folk.
All right. I'll end it. I'm just a little. I just got lazy today. I can't believe I forgot to go to the gym today. 5 years in a row now.
Yeah. Oh, hold on.
I'm done. I'm done. All right, I'm done.
Okay.
All right. So it is. There are a few days today.
There are a few days, and we were gonna do this a little bit.
We were
because usually when John's on the show, Jess is off playing mahjong, and today is International Mahjong Day.
Happy International Mahjong, the Mahjong Day.
So
let's change that. I spelt ma, but it changed it to man.
Mahjong. It's something else entirely.
It's a completely different thing.
Hold on, let me see. Where do I have a?
Don't worry about it.
Let's see. No, hold on.
Yeah, boo. Right. Yeah, fine. So happy International Mahjong Day. We were going to do that a little bit with talking to the tiles that they were playing with.
We're going to have Jess, put the camera right on the tiles, and we didn't figure out how to get the tiles to talk back, though.
Probably not. No, it wouldn't have been a good idea.
So we're not.
Anyway. Plus, and the ringleader, if you will, the leader of the Mahjong game that she plays in, just mazel tov to them. Stu and Ellen Grader, our neighbors, they just had their first grandson.
Congratulations!
So, literally a little over an hour ago. So that's why they're not playing. So
I think that's a good excuse.
That's a good excuse.
I think
so.
But we have some other days to celebrate. Well, first, a call out. Yep, a call out to my friend Stuart Picard, our favorite ginger. If you've been watching and you follow some of our links, Ginger Ale Trail out up in northern England. He gets up into Scotland every now and then, goes a little further south every now and then, even though he doesn't particularly like to do so. So happy Yorkshire Day to you. He's from Yorkshire, so
there you go. Happy Yorkshire Day.
Yep.
And of course, it's also Happy International Day of Belgian Fries.
Right, because
now I wanted to make sure. Now it's not Happy International Belgian Friday. It's Happy International Day of Belgian Fries.
Apparently.
Now would that be pommes frites?
It'd be pommes frites. Yes,
pommes frites, right?
Pommes frites. Pommes frites, and we call them French fries here because the GIs in World War II were over there, and
they didn't know where they were.
They probably didn't know where they were. They heard a French accent, thought they were French, and came over here, called them French fries rather than Belgian fries. And the Belgians have not been, I don't think they've forgiven us for that yet.
Probably not.
So I don't know why we didn't, when we were pissed off the French, when we started calling them freedom fries, we didn't just call them Belgian fries and bring it back to where they actually were. Instead, we bombed their embassy's pool in Libya, which is kind of funny.
There you go. So, hey, our guest just went away from his camera really quick, so let's get him on now. There he is back. There he is.
Well, we got to do one more thing before we bring the guest on.
Yes, one more quick thing. A little bit of business. It's the last one we can do because the contest ends. Contest entries need to be in.
What does it say down there?
One more week. Contest entries need to be in by this Friday night at 11:59.
I can't figure this out backwards. Got to do it this way or that way or. No, there we go. That way.
One more week. There you go. One more week. There you go.
That's really counterintuitive, and that hurt my head a little bit. So yes, one.
You
more
could have
week.
used your other hand, by the way. It would have been easier.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't have.
Okay.
So yes, tune into the video at about 6:40, and you'll see that wonderful bit of what would you call that? Even pantomime? I don't know.
Yeah.
Tom
Not
Fuller.
sure. All I know is I need a beer after that, so hurry up with the clue.
Yeah. So in a week, I shall be in Ireland.
Shall be.
And I shall drink a Guinness or two or more.
Guinness.
So we are having Guinness. I will be having a couple pints of regular, as they call it there. And so we have our first ever.
I'll be having unleaded.
Very cute. But we are having our first ever Lager Room Guys contest. And that is to guess how many pints of Guinness I will be drinking while in Ireland. Since we announced it, we have given a clue, so to speak, on every show, a little bit of information.
So it's at the beginning of the it's always at the beginning of the show. So if
With
you
one
have missed any
exception.
of the close, with one exception, so you'll have to figure that one out, right? But it's always at the beginning of the show. So if you missed a couple of clues, just watch at least. We'd like you to watch the whole show, but at least for this, watch the beginning and figure out what the clues are. So, but anyway, give us tonight's clue.
This is the last
clue,
final clue, and it's obvious that if I go someplace, I'm not drinking just Guinness.
Correct.
Right. So I do have a few craft breweries and also Irish distilleries in mind. There is a distillery about 150 yards down from where we're staying, which is also a brewery. Take that in consideration. When we go to Cliffs of Moher, on the way back, we're going to stop in Limerick. We'll have to figure out a Limerick by then.
We'll write one.
Yeah, we'll have one written. We'll post that up. But there's a brewery there called Crew Brewing that I plan on visiting. When we do the Ring of Kerry, there is a town called Kenmare. They actually have two breweries there. We'll be stopping at probably one of them. And then when we go from Galway to Dublin, we'll be stopping at a place called Rascals Brewing. So give you an idea there. That's 4 breweries, 1 distillery.
And a very loud vibrating tone from your phone next to your microphone.
Yeah, because it's sitting right next to the microphone, so the vibration's coming up through it.
My headphones actually vibrated. That's how loud it was. But
that's a good one. I got to remember to just I'm going to turn that up.
Anyway.
Text me again. All right, so
there you go.
So, and you have got till Friday
at 11:59 and 59 seconds. At midnight, the contest stops. Whatever entries are in, those are the ones that are in, and the winner will be. And we don't know what the amount is because Dave doesn't know what the amount is. So
I have a guess. I think I've shared it with John.
You have, but we will know when he gets back.
I'm not eligible.
Right, of course, neither am I.
Because I'm an employee and family member of the show.
Right. And and we'll know when he gets back. We'll announce it the day after. We'll be off. We'll be on the show. He'll be live next week from Ireland, and then the following week we're off. So we'll announce the winner on the show 3 weeks from tonight. So there you go.
Okay.
Now the math is right, but I told you we're not doing any math. So.
That's not math. That's timing stuff.
I know. All right.
Well, we've got someone waiting for us.
Yes.
In the middle of a nasty storm.
Yeah. Let's find out what it is. Please welcome to the show for the 7th time, Antonio Aracan. Tony.
7 times.
7
Damn.
times.
Kill us for a little bit. Keep going.
That was
All right, fine. There you go. How's everything in Far West Texas tonight, Tony?
well, we got a big storm cooking up. We haven't had rain for weeks, as it goes sometimes. But the
So
summer months,
you save it up and have it all at once, basically.
yeah, it'll either rain 50 drops, it'll rain 500 drops, or it rains all the drops at once.
All
Gotcha.
the drops.
Kind of how it goes around here.
All the drops.
But yesterday we
You dropped your audio.
Oh, okay. That was 50 drops of audio.
No, Tony dropped his audio. We still have his video though. We
We
can still see him. He could hold up cards.
I don't know if he can hear us or not. Tony, if you can hear us, take a drink. Okay.
Yes, he can. Okay. Well, he didn't laugh at my card thing, but it wasn't really that funny. So.
Wait, we can't hear you.
So,
Yeah, there we go. And to go, maybe his earbuds died on him.
maybe that's what it is. And he muted. We're giving you a play-by-play. Those of you listening to the audio.
Let's see if you can unmute him.
No, he muted himself.
Yeah. Maybe by disconnecting his earbuds, it did it automatically.
Your mic isn't connected right now. It's saying, Tony.
well, how's
And-
that?
Oh, perfect.
Oh, there that
you go.
works.
All right, he's back.
Yay.
Hey.
So did you hear
Technology.
anything I said?
I hadn't heard nothing. No.
Heard nothing. Okay.
You literally said one word and then it stopped. So
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure how that happened. It was muted, but anyway, I'm back. Hi.
how are you?
Hey, hi there.
So let's have a beer. Tony, what are you drinking while we get ours prepped here?
Oh, mine's cracked and poured.
Oh, I got to get mine done. Ruby Redbird from Shiner. I've had that. Very good beer.
I've had that.
It is. It's a great summer beer. I don't drink
Yeah.
a lot of Shiner beers anymore, but somebody left some of these here, and I was really happy about it.
Yeah. Ruby Redbird's one of the better ones from Shiner. What are you drinking there?
Well, I'm waxing nostalgic tonight, and maybe a little melancholy and bittersweet. But I'm with the classic. You know, the brewery that we are losing. Hopefully, not losing, but we'll see what can be done.
Well, if we are losing it, we lost it already because they're done yesterday. So
Yes, they were, but yeah. Hopefully, they can reopen.
that's Anchor for those of you that didn't watch last week's show when we talked about it with Tom and John, and also are just listening to the audio podcast.
Drinking it out of a nice glass, though. Isn't that a nice glass?
That is a gorgeous glass. I love that glass. I love that glass. We got to get Tony one of those glasses.
Yeah, right. I feel
You did.
lifted up here.
Now, before we really get going,
Hold on, I
yes,
got my beer.
oh yeah, well that's right. John's got a beer. John,
I got a
you're
beer.
drinking?
I'm drinking.
Huh?
I'm
What you
drinking Proper Trolleyed. It's an English dark mild from Phase 3 Brewing in
Nice.
Illinois.
Very nice.
Been looking forward to this one, so I had to have it tonight. So cheers, gentlemen.
Slancha.
Oh, it's very nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
Very nice. All right. So anyway, besides the storm, how's what's new in Texas, Tony?
Well, I got a joke. You guys are telling lame jokes. I want
Oh,
to.
okay. Here we go.
The lamer, the better.
Did you hear about the guy who invented the knock knock joke?
No.
He won the Nobel Prize.
There we go.
Now you got it.
There you go.
Right on cue. Now, before we started, you made a point of turning a picture behind you so the camera can see it.
Oh yeah, that's my dog. Somebody painted that.
That is
I mean-
very, very neat.
Well, it was my dog.
Oh, he's gone.
That's Lazy Daisy.
Lazy Daisy's gone over the rainbow bridge.
Yeah. But a friend of mine here in town painted that, and it was part of a series he did for the Big Bend Literary Magazine. So Daisy made a posthumous appearance.
Very nice.
That's
Very nice.
cool.
To Lazy Daisy.
So Lazy Daisy, she was a good one.
Yes.
Woof 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 woof.
We keep
Bow wow, old friend. Bow wow.
I'll be on my second beer before you know it. Keep toasting everything.
Hey. That's the idea.
Yeah.
All right.
So
we got to drink more. We got to drink more cerveza, so there's more trabajo.
That's right. And if we have no cerveza, there is no trabajo.
there is no trabajo.
You know where this hat's from? Do you remember
No.
this hat from a movie?
No.
No.
Born in East LA.
Oh, yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
This is a modern day remake of that hat.
Wa Sapanin.
What's that?
Wa Sapanin.
Right. So
That's a good movie.
well, this hat showed up in my PO box. I have no idea who sent it, why it came.
Really?
I mean, I know why it came.
You get a lot of mystery mail.
Yeah, I don't get enough.
You got to start
but I
sending
do get
us
a
some
lot.
mystery mail. Just some
Yeah.
random stuff. We got to start doing that.
Yeah, like an Altoid, just one
I
Altoid.
have PO box 25. It's easy to remember.
It's 25 Terlingua.
Yeah.
Here you go.
And you could put any number of the names you know me by or anything, and
It'll get to you.
White dude with pigtails and a cowboy hat.
even
There you go.
You could do that, and
And it would work.
you can just put my name in Terlingua, Texas, and it would make it to me.
That's it.
That's right.
Tony Terlingua. Done.
That's beautiful. That's
They
beautiful.
would know.
It would know. That's awesome. Gotta love it. So, other than storms and everything else, what beer wise, what's new in Texas?
I just did the first of my Beerology series in a while. Almost probably been a year and a half since I've done one. But I went back up to Fort Worth for a week and reprised the Beerology beer philosophy discussion
Nice.
at the Tulips Fort Worth, one of my old haunts. And
Very
that
nice.
was a good time getting the band back together.
And
And then
Tulips,
the next
yeah.
day, we got the band back together at the actual band at Petacolis Brewing, where I get this sweet T-shirt.
Very nice. Very nice. Did you play your top chart topping single?
Oh.
Ira?
3 times.
Velvet
times.
Hammer.
Velvet Hammer.
Here's the Velvet Hammer.
Here's the Velvet Hammer.
Hey, I've got one of those on the list tonight, so I'm gonna get myself in trouble.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, you said only 3 beers tonight. That was your call.
Hey, that doesn't mean I could drink fast. I could drink 4 beers in 3 beers time,
This is true. This is
or
true.
I could drink 3
4
double IPAs in 2 beers time.
In 2 beers.
There you go.
Yeah. Well, you have to do a shotgun one of them, and you can get to 5 really quick. So
Right? Oh yeah. See, now you're talking.
exactly. So give us a little excerpt of the Beerology that you did at
Well, this one was Austin beer was our focus. So I picked several of my favorites, and I wasn't able to go pick them up myself. So I was coming straight from out here to there to Fort Worth. So I had the owner of the bar go, and he had to use my connections to go do this thing. So I was really specific with instructions. I don't want it to be a pain in the ass when he comes and he doesn't know what he's doing, and they've got to stop everything. And so I made it easy on all of them, and I was really nervous the whole time. But he did a great job, and he picked up the entire list and then some. And so we laid it out. And any of these beer events you go to, even if it's like BJCP training, even serious stuff, you get to about the 4th or 5th beer sample, and like everybody that's involved is getting louder and louder.
Oh, sure.
Harder to get across to, so I keep it low and light, and then I pack some punches at the very end.
That's it.
Make it worth their while.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's great. You're right, though. Even serious beer judging, you get into the 5th or the 6th round, you're like, what? Forget about it. It's chaos.
There's a lot of what the hell is he talking about going on?
Right.
I've been in a few of those.
And this one, I think probably the best excerpt would have been I told him the story of the 99 pack of beer, if you guys remember that.
Mm-hmm.
Austin Beer Works did.
Yep.
I happened to be at the brewery the week that they were launching that, and my birthday is the end of August, so it was right around the time of my birthday. So this photo got taken at the brewery the night before the release. We were playing around with the box, and everybody's laughing, and just like nobody could believe this is even a real thing, a 99 pack of beer. And my friend takes this photo of me riding it like a bucking bronco with my hat in the air, and she tweets it, and she just created a Twitter account. She'd only had it a couple weeks and they'd never tweeted a thing. She tweets this photo, and that photo of me riding that thing like a bull goes around the world. Her very first tweet ever. This image was in news outlets in Japan and Germany.
Oh, wow.
That's awesome.
The story because it hit the day before and somebody found it, So I rode the 99 pack all around the world.
There you go.
Very nice.
To his credit,
got delivered.
Tony rode the 99 pack all around the world. There you go.
They delivered me a 100 pack to my birthday. They stuffed an extra beer in that box, and
Nice.
we shotgunned the whole thing in 10 minutes.
I'd love to see that picture superimposed over the scene in Doctor Strangelove.
Somebody actually photoshopped that.
They actually did do that. That's perfect because that cries out for that.
I'll see if I can dig that up and send it to you guys later.
Yeah, dig it up and send it. We'll put it on the Facebook page. That's awesome.
He called me Dr. Strange Dang.
Strange dang.
Dr. Strange Dang. There you
Strange dang. That works.
go. Well, shit.
Yeah, right.
Oh, that's great. Gotta love it. So that was cool. So you mentioned to me a while back that you might have been up in Vancouver at this point. That got delayed. You went already. You came back. You didn't go.
Yeah, no, I pushed it back another month to let it cool down a little more up there, and not that it's warm, but also had a bunch of stuff come up this month. My daughter's here right now. She's about to go to A&M, so we're spending the last week of summer having some fun out here in the Big Bend, and then gonna go get her moved in. So, but it all worked out. I'm still going to go up there, and I'll have to, next time I talk to you guys, I'll give you the lowdown on that. I'm doing a little mini tour. Got invited by some friends to come play some music. So
Nice.
Yeah, you're going to have to let me know because probably this time next year, I may be there.
All right. Well, I'll take some notes. I think we're probably going to do more national park and things.
No, we plan to do that. We'll do Seattle and Vancouver.
But I will be playing at least one or two shows in a couple of different venues, probably kind of more dive bars. But I imagine I'll hit a brewery or two on there. You know me.
Oh yeah,
you got
to do that.
But other than that, the biggest beer news I got for you is that after about 7 years of living here in Terlingua, I finally got a bar. I finally got a bar that'll bring Hans Pils in for me, my favorite beer.
Really
nice.
I
don't have to drive 200 miles round trip to go get Hans Pils anymore from Real Ale. I can just go to the bar and get a frosty pint.
That's awesome.
It is. It took a little work, and we had to work. Benny Keith doesn't distribute all the way down here, so like Real Ale sells their beer to Benny Keith. From Blanco, it goes to Austin. From Austin, it goes to Fort Worth. From Fort Worth, it goes to Abilene, then to El Paso. And then it comes from El Paso all the way back, like another 4 hours back east to Marfa and Alpine. But they won't come another 80 miles south to drop it in Terlingua.
That's crazy.
We got him to drop it at a Class B distributor, one of the liquor stores in town. So he's like buys kegs. He's going through about a keg a week, which is not bad for Terlingua.
No, that's not.
Right.
Yeah. So hopefully we'll be the #1 Hans account in far west Texas.
There you go.
That'll work. That way, that means you'll get a steady flow of your favorite beer.
Exactly.
You've got to do your part,
Oh.
I don't think there's going to be a problem with that.
I don't think so either.
Something tells me that's fine.
Like it's a lot of people bring me that beer, so I almost never run out of it. But it's nice to have it in the bar now.
Nice.
And to be truthful, I shouldn't even admit this, but I have admitted it. It's not a secret that I don't really have a favorite beer because there's so many that I like. But people always ask you that question: how do you narrow it down to what is your favorite beer?
Right.
So I just picked one at some point that I really liked, and like that just became a thing. And because I said it so many times, people just like really believe that
it's your beer. Yeah.
I would drink that before I drink anything, and that sometimes that's true, but not always.
I think I know what you might be talking about.
Yeah,
but then again, I wasn't getting paid to make it my favorite.
No, you weren't. You weren't.
I was just dictated to that it was my favorite beer.
Yeah. Something about a boat.
Yeah, there's something about a boat involved.
Something about a boat.
I have a boat. He's not in Canada.
No, he's not. In Canada.
And they don't have that accent over in Vancouver anyway.
That's a boot, not a boat.
A boat.
That's a boot.
I poured my second.
Woohoo!
There you go.
I'm getting all the anchors.
I wish I had all the anchors. I wish I had Liberty.
I know. I'll show you it on this. On that note, I just bought this the other day. Hasn't even shipped, or it just shipped today. Gotta go to eBay here. I just bought this. Had to buy it.
You had to
buy it. I saw it. I had to buy it. Had to have it.
Well, we're waiting.
Oh yeah,
Patch.
A 2019 Anchor Christmas patch.
Very nice.
Yeah, had to buy that.
I had a guy, a friend of mine in Fort Worth. He had a pretty nice beer fridge, like kind of before a lot of people did that, and especially in Fort Worth, there weren't a lot of beers. In Texas, even at that time, there weren't a lot that came through. But he had been collecting since the mid '80s. Every annual beer, like all the Christmas beers, the Anchor Christmas,
Yep.
just all of them. And then this fridge died, and his new wife told him, she's like, "Look, we're not doing this anymore." So he called several of us, and we rescued this ancient beer cellar. I got six cases of beers. Some of them from, I think the oldest one was from '88. And we're talking Bigfoots and celebrations.
Oh wow!
Verticals of them. And they've been mostly well kept. And but I opened a lot of them over time, and a lot of them were oxidized and not in great shape. But the ones that were, oh man, the Avery Jubilation was the one that held up the best.
I can imagine.
I had
like a 12-year vertical of the Anchor Christmas that we broke up in 1 year.
I can't remember if I'm sitting on an 8 or a 9-year vertical right now.
I was sitting at one point on an 18-year vertical that we had, 96 through 2013. I talked about this last week. Tony, last week we did the Christmas in July show. So
yeah,
I actually had an Anchor Christmas. I had an Avery Old Jubilation. I had a Sierra Nevada Celebration. And just for good measure, I had a Course and Dawn Christmas on top of it. So
very nice.
There you go. My second beer I'm drinking in. I just want to throw this up really quick. Russian Circles. It's a black Pilsner from Wayfinder.
That's not a bad thing at all.
Mm-hmm. Black Pilsner. Basically, a dark lager, but very nice.
This is from Phoenix.
Awesome.
A smoked Czech dark lager.
Smoked Czech pale lager.
Smoked Czech pale lager.
So it's a Gratzer. Grodzicki.
Grodzicki.
I do love that style. I really wish we could get up to Schilling and get what they just released.
What did they just release?
You sent it to me. Oh, I think I've had Red House before. They're damn good.
Red House, yeah.
Yeah, they had a bunch of great lagers.
What did they release? They released a smoked beer, John, but it wasn't a Gratzer. What did they release? I forget what it was.
You have to figure it out.
It was a smoked beer.
Smoked dark lager in the fridge too.
Nice, very nice. Yeah, I got a couple smoked beers.
Wow. I
love them. I mean, we got to get up. I got to get up there, and I got to get up. Treehouse has a couple other ones now too, and I do have a couple left over. The last round I bought, I want to have them soon.
Hey, John,
going into fall. Have it.
I may actually swap out my third beer with the beer sitting in my fridge. He's got me in the mood for a smoked beer now.
He's got you in the mood for a smoked beer?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you just don't get a crawl. That's all.
I don't care. You're all about the crawl.
No, I don't care.
When people here in Texas will tell me they don't like, oh, this beer tastes like barbecue, and I'm like, well, that's a good thing.
Why is that a bad thing? This is Texas.
And your point. Right.
Are you even Texan? I don't know.
Oh my.
So, this is good. This black Pilsner is very tasty from Wayfinder.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wayfinder, you should get down to Portland when you go to Seattle and Vancouver next year.
Yeah, the thing is, it's going to be two of the three, and what I think I want to do is save.
Well, why don't you do this? Why don't you go to Portland and Vancouver, right? And then drive from Portland to Vancouver. You got to drive through Seattle, so
it's definitely going to be Seattle and one of the others. I'll rephrase. Because frankly, I think it's going to be Vancouver and Seattle, because Portland and the rest of Oregon, I kind of want to save for one trip because the coast of Oregon is something special.
Yep.
They've got Crater Lake. You got to get to Crater Lake.
Oh yeah.
And get out into the Willamette Valley. I'm sorry, Willamette Valley. I said it wrong.
Well, it's Willamette, damn it.
Yes. So there's not that there's not a lot to do in Washington State or out around Vancouver, but I think Vancouver and Seattle lend themselves together as a
They
pairing.
do. No, they do. They do. You're right. I'll be out in Vancouver for a week or so next summer. So
Cool.
hop shopping. So,
These
I'll
things
do
are-
I'll do a little recon for you.
all right, yeah, do that.
There
Definitely.
you go.
So,
These
We,
beers are going down way too fast.
Tony, I don't know what you're doing on your way back from Vancouver, but I'll be in Denver for about a week for GABF. So,
Oh, wow.
Oh, you're taking the
might,
bus?
I have to make some. Well, because I hadn't even considered that. I hadn't made all my hard plans yet, so maybe I can make something work out. Here.
What are the
Can we
dates
post-
on that, John? I've got some serious miles racked
there you
up.
go. Hold on, I'll tell you right now. I got to look at a calendar. That's the only way I remember it. So, it is the 20th to the 27th,
Of October?
Wednesday to Wednesday. No, September 20th to the 27th.
No, I will be in San
You're-
Francisco.
You're going to Frisco, yeah.
I will be
Yeah,
in
and
San
I'm tentatively planning the first part of the month, but now I don't know. I'll have to look and see.
Yeah.
I've got a very flexible schedule.
There we go.
We'll be in San Francisco. Carrie's got a conference, so during the day I gotta entertain myself. However am I gonna entertain myself? I'm sure there's things I can find to do. But we got some stuff planned. We had planned a tour and paid for the tour of Anchor.
But you got your money back.
Got the money back. It got canceled. I don't know. Maybe I'll start a picket line outside there. Well, they can picket line.
Couldn't they still do tours at this point? Like, even
No.
if they're not actively.
They are shut down as of yesterday. As of
Operations-
midnight last night,
Operations have ceased.
July 31st. Done.
Man.
But there's a lot of other breweries there. That
Well,
will-
the other thing, Tony, I don't know if you heard much about it, obviously, but there's some venture capital companies that want to come in there, but the owners, the workers,
employees.
the employees, they want to buy the business from Sapporo, and they want to go, find the funding from other venture capitalists and investors and get the money and
and
I hope that happens. I really do.
A couple of breweries in Texas actually bought their breweries back from the stake in their breweries back from Constellation Brands pretty recently.
Yep.
Yeah. Good.
And I think Alcatula had a great point. If the city of San Francisco was smart, they would get in on it.
Yeah.
That is a piece of history in
A
that.
150-year-old brewery. They didn't
not very many
open
around.
20 years ago. It's a 150-year-old brewery.
And the thing is, the revenue that they could garner just from the tours, much less the beer sales.
That's what I was saying. Like, in the meantime, couldn't they just leave the tours operating and
No,
it's,
They didn't have to brew anything. Just do the tours.
Right.
Hey. And then send everybody to the bar across the street if they want to drink.
yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm there. I
know.
want.
I will be having both of those next week on the show because next week's show is going to be more focused on Dave drinking in St. James Gate.
Well, no, I won't be in St. James Gate at the time. I will be in Killarney. I will be in St. James Gate about 5 days later, learning how to pour the perfect pint.
Well, he'll be in Killarney. But it'll be focused on him. So what I'm drinking is irrelevant. So I'll have my two anchors then.
I'll be drinking some probably some Irish beer. I think I'll have some Irish beer. We got to stop off because it's the day we land. Actually, I've got a.
Crazier things have been done. I mean, I've been known to go drinking after I travel that same day.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Yeah, I think I might do that. But I've got an in to a really good bottle shop. Mm-hmm. One of the podcasters over in Ireland gave me some hints and tips. Talking to another podcaster who actually, we'll see, may actually pop up on the show.
That would be good.
That'd be really cool.
How long of a trip are you planning on going to Vancouver for, Tony?
at least a week.
Okay.
I haven't actually even bought the ticket yet, so I'm trying to. That's what you said. GABF. I'm like, oh man, I may redo this whole
I know.
itinerary. But now I've got right now I'm where I can get out of here in Terlingua for about a week's time and a week and a half, at the most. I've got a lot of I picked up a new gig. It has nothing to do with beer, but it's a sweet, very fulfilling too. I am watering. I'm in charge of watering an endangered species of grass that only grows in 2 places left on Earth. One is in the Boot Canyon of the Chisos Mountains, and the other is in a mountain range in Mexico, about 90 miles south of us. And so I got a hike up there every 7 to 10 days when it's not raining. So this is good that it's raining right now.
I love the reversal here. Usually in this country, we have Mexicans come here to water our grass.
That's fair.
And then we're sending Tony to Mexico to water their grass. I like this. I like
this. I'm not going over to Mexico. The Mexicans are actually taking care of the Mexican side. I'm just
okay.
But
however,
a hike from the Chisos Basin up in the Big Bend National Park, and it's it takes about 2 hours to get up there. It's a 13-mile round trip by the time I'm done. And I collect water at the top from a rainwater collector, and then I hike it back down the trail, down this rocky slope, and I'm watering 60 sprouts of this grass that they planted back in June and keep it rolling. So pretty interesting gig.
Hopefully it'll propagate. That is really cool.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Have you've done it already?
Yeah, I've been up there three.
Duffy's, he's frozen on us.
He's frozen. I took a picture of it because that's a good pose.
That is a really good pose.
If he can hear me too, I'm sure he likes that. So yeah, you froze.
I'll work out.
Let's do it. Let's all do it.
One side.
Yeah. Hold on. Keep it up there.
He's still.
No,
he's still.
Maybe the storm came in.
That's very possible. Maybe, but you think it just would have dropped rather than frozen.
I think it just would have dropped. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
but while we're waiting for him to unfreeze, and hopefully his next gig isn't the floor is lava.
Right. Exactly.
Remember when those were the two like big things, like everyone walked and everyone like everybody freeze. We've lost him. Hopefully the storm hasn't knocked it out. But while he's doing that, he got me all thirsty for this one. And I've been sitting on this one for a little bit.
Yes, you have. We had that. Because you would.
I got you one.
you bought 3 of them.
Mm-hmm.
You drank one. I drank one, and now you have your third.
This is the third,
there
and you got me all.
Damn it! I have a smoked robust porter downstairs in the cellar from Treehouse. Had I known you were having that tonight, and had I known
I didn't know I was having this tonight.
Had I known he was having the smoked beer tonight, I would have had that as my third beer.
Oh, shush! I need a moment. Oh,
folks,
this is
Dave is having a moment.
This is
he usually has several, but one of them's right now.
Bacon. Yep, bacon. And what I love about a grassroots, look how pale that is.
Yep.
That's what it should be.
It's pale as all hell, and
smoky.
Yet it's so big, and so big. Hold on, let me just see if he's contacting me separate. Should be back up and running in a minute or two. Power surge.
So the storm hit something.
Somewhere, maybe not right there. We didn't hear any thunder.
Nope. Didn't see any lightning. I love thunderstorms.
I do too.
When I was a kid, we had this old farmhouse that my mom had, and my bedroom, mine and my brother's bedroom was on the second floor, and we could crawl out the window onto one of the lower roof lines.
Yep.
And then get up on the top on the roof line.
Yep.
And my mom, I went up there, and my friend comes over and knocks on the door. It's like, hey, is Dave here? She's like, oh yeah, he's upstairs. He might be on the roof though. It's like, okay. So he goes up into my room and he looks, and the window's open. So he comes out onto the roof. He looks up top, and there I am sitting there. He comes up, goes, "Hey, what you doing?" I'm watching the storm roll in, and there's this. He just looks to the left. There's a big black cloud with all this lightning coming out of it. And
Nice.
he's like, "Yeah, I'm going in."
Yeah. How was the power surge?
It was great, man.
Yeah. Is he pretending to not be able to speak? I think he's pretending right there.
No, he's not.
He's not.
Is this mic muted again? Is his mute mic?
No, there's no mute button on his thing. I
can't hear you.
We can't hear you.
No.
And now we're back to taking these things out again.
Here we go. Take it.
This is deja vu all over again.
Deja vu all over again. We've been here before.
And by turning them off, that's what mutes it. Now he's muted. So
now he's going to unmute, and then he can hear him. Yeah, we've been here before. I recognize that tree.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hey.
All right.
I get a little older every day, don't I?
Yep.
But you try to catch up to Dave and I, but you're not yet. So.
No.
My daughter told me today that that I had said to her more times about how old I was feeling than I had ever had before, and I was like, "Oh, I got to think about that."
Yeah.
I have a line with my kids. They thought it was funny for a little bit. He's gone and froze again.
No, he hasn't. I did. Yeah, he did.
Yep.
Oh, no,
he's back.
Oh, it's temporary.
I had a line with my boys. At first, they thought it was
move
funny.
the hand up and down, and we know you're there. So that's good.
They thought it was funny at one point. They don't find it funny anymore. Because one point I got them together and said, "I've got something to tell you too." Like, what's that? I'm like, I'm immortal. They went, what? I'm like, so far.
Up through now.
I'm immortal. Who knows?
Anyway, I know.
I'm a big believer in manifesting things, and I always I always encourage people when they say I can't do that. I say, well, not with that attitude, you can't.
You can't. You say you can't do it, you can't do it.
Right? That's something
I agree. 100%.
And so when it comes to death, you have to pay, your death and taxes. We got to die, but I don't have to die, man. I'm going to have a different attitude.
You're not going to die with an attitude like that.
No.
I probably will, just like anybody else. But if if I work on it and think about it and manifest it, maybe I can live forever.
Well, yeah.
Just keep it going. Just keep it working. Keep it going.
You just got to get nastier and nastier.
That's it.
Nasty people seem to live longer.
So,
but
if it makes you feel any younger, and I've mentioned it on the show already. If it makes you feel any younger, your daughter's just going to A&M.
She's not finishing out her degree there, so she's already 2 years in.
She's 2 years in. Okay. I just about 4 weeks ago, just booked my younger daughter's wedding. So.
All right. Man, we're getting a little more gray every day, aren't we?
Yeah, and we're about 6
Talk about
months.
something else, though.
And we're 6 months. We're 6 months away from my son getting out of the Air Force after having done his tour.
Yeah, there you go. Well, cheers to
we'll talk about something else.
Cheers to the kids. Cheers to the kids.
Cheers to the kids.
To the kids.
There you go.
Now, when I go to Ireland, we're going to the Hill of Tara.
Oh, been there.
Hill of Tara. No, not her. There's one of the standing stones there, and they think it is a Tuatha Days.
A what?
The Tuatha Days.
Oh, I heard something else.
No, there's no W in there. They think it's the Stone of Destiny. So if the true King of Ireland touches the Stone of Destiny, and it wails out, it will wail out, announcing that the true King is here. So it's very possible I may not be coming back from Ireland.
Well, there you go. There you go. Speaking
of.
With that attitude, you manifest it.
I'm going to manifest it that I will be the next King of Ireland.
Speaking of wailing out and something of destiny, I just watched the Pick of Destiny the other day. Tenacious D. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah.
So,
just today?
No, not for the first time. For the 90th time, maybe.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was. I didn't see the whole thing though. I'm scrolling around, boom, boom, and I put it on just as Jack Black is sitting at the tree eating the mushrooms. So that was perfect timing for that one.
Jack Black, he is a treasure.
Mm-hmm.
He is a treasure.
Anyway, so yeah. So anyway, back to what we were talking about. You can you got a week and a half or so, move things around. Yeah, let me know. Figure out what you're gonna do if you can work that out and get in for.
Cool. I haven't been back to Denver since. I think it's been since 2016 was the last time I was.
They may have forgotten about things by now, Tony.
2016 was the last time you were at JBF.
I think so.
2016 was the last time I was at JBF, and I didn't see it. So
I began doing a thing in October that coincided with GABF. We do this run down the river, the lower canyons of the Rio Grande, which is a long 83-mile stretch.
Right.
It takes about 8 days, and it's harder on your liver than the Great American Beer Fest. I'll be honest.
Wow. Now that's saying something.
It's not just the drinking; it's the being jumped up around and the thing.
But it's a lot. The drinking,
physically harder on your liver because you
only have ice for like the first two or 3 days if you're lucky,
and then everything is room temperature.
So there's no more beer. Right. You've got to go to spirits.
But I'm in charge of the beer logistics, so I actually pack a cooler. It's one of the things I did a lot of research out here on beers that would taste okay at ambient temperature. And it's not always hot, but like there are things that are better. And like the best one that I found is actually this. There's a Upslope Brown Ale is a really good one.
Okay.
And
Upslope Brown's good. I haven't had it warm, but I actually.
It's not necessarily warm. It's just that if you keep it in a cooler in water, it's going to stay, at a better temperature than wood sitting on the sun. So it's not a hot beer.
Right.
It's just ambient temperature. And that's the thing, like I've conditioned myself to live out here to learn to enjoy beers that are not ice cold.
Ice cold, right.
That was like luxury. Oh, man. They say Yeti will keep ice cold for 5 days, but they mean in Alaska when in the wintertime.
Right.
And Terlingua.
And they don't mean the cooler either, but that's the point.
And they also
the Yeti will keep things cold.
You got to put a nice ratio, a better ratio of, like we all fill our coolers up and then put the ice on top and then like it goes away. So you got to put less beer or more ice and it lasts longer.
And you know what?
Logistics are important.
If you put salt water in it, the salt water will lower the temperature. Right. It'll allow the temperature to get lower, so you can do that, and that hopefully will let the ice last longer.
Yep.
But we've actually had we had a guy sneak on that trip one. He snuck some dry ice in there. And we actually, because of that dry ice, we were drinking cold beers on day 4, ice cold beers on day 4 that were so cold, we had to drink the beer off the top and then let the ice melt
underneath. Yeah.
Hey, and it was
where you get that concentrated beer on top, and then
probably the best Lone Star I've ever had.
Yes.
Yeah, right. And also because of that dry ice, we were eating steaks on day 5 of that trip.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Hey, I'm doing some foreshadowing here.
I see where you're going and what you're doing there. So, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Denver. We're heading out. I there's a handful of brews I got to hit up. A couple people I got to see. Definitely going to the Thursday night session. Probably going to the first session on Saturday too. But we were going to leave on Tuesday to come back. We're staying on Wednesday because I wanted to catch a Rockies game while I was out there. I've been to Coors Field, but I haven't seen a game at Coors Field. And as luck would have it, the entire week that GABF is going on, the Rockies are away. Their first game back is that Tuesday night. So if we leave on Tuesday, I can't go. So we're leaving Wednesday. I can go to the game on Tuesday night. So
very cool.
And Tony, because of you, I don't know if you caught. Well, actually, you had dropped off. I had to open this.
Very nice.
It is from Schilling Brewing in New Hampshire. At a lovely, lovely town up in New Hampshire. What is that? Bennington, New Hampshire?
Littleton.
I know there's a ton in there.
Littleton.
It's a beautiful, beautiful town.
It's a little ton. It is. I'm opening my third beer. I'll throw this one up. It's Pocket Full of Porter. It's a New Jersey beer. It's Pocket Full of Porter from Jersey Girl. Chuck Aaron. He's been on the show a few times.
Thrice at least, yes. And one cameo appearance at the Coastal launch at Cloverleaf. I'm counting that as part of the thrice.
No, he was on for
He was on the anniversary show.
And 2 of his own shows.
2 of his own shows. Okay. So, Frice.
Frice. Yeah, there you go.
I don't know. What is four? If it's once, twice, thrice, frice?
Ford.
Fourth?
Forced.
Teshas.
There it is.
Tejas.
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 Tejas. Yeah.
Tejas,
Jose
Texas.
Tejas. Yeah.
The S, or no, I'm sorry, the S isn't, but it does have a $sign before the T. I don't know if you've noticed.
Oh,
that.
so Stex ass. Okay, got it.
Texas.
I think it's like a Texas's money, like
Money, Texas. Exactly.
turning point beer from.
See, it's money is like an old term now. It should be it's fire, right? That's the new
Fire
thing.
is the kids these days are saying it's fire. Yeah,
It's
exactly.
fire. It's fire. Actually, they're probably past that by now. It's probably not even that anymore.
Wow.
I do there's one thing they're saying now is like it's so fucking over. They could like add too much salt to something and be like, it's too fucking over. It's so fucking over. It's just the whole drama of the generation. So Johnny, you're liking that? I understand. I get.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't know what to expect. This is dark, rich, and chocolatey, right? So I'm thinking.
Okay, hold on before you move on. Is it dark?
Yes.
Is it rich?
Yeah.
Is it chocolatey?
Yes, with some other things though.
Well, it's delivered. It seems like it's over delivered. If there's more stuff.
Yeah, because I didn't read the entire label before I had it. Pocket Full of Porter is a beer that is exceptionally dark with a rich and creamy deep flavor profile, layered with hints of. I think
He's old. He can't read.
No. It's hints day, not DE, not OF. I don't know what that. Hints to.
That's French for of.
I know. Hints to hazelnut, milk chocolate, caramel, and lightly toasted marshmallow. But I don't know that there's any adjuncts in this, and I'm trying to figure out where they're coming from. Are they?
Because he said there's hints of.
Hints of, yeah, but I'm getting it though.
They're alluding to it.
Mm-hmm.
So
I thought hints of was a German word. Hints of.
It's my it's a cousin of mine.
Hintzof.
Yeah, exactly.
Hintzoff.
Hans Hintzoff. I know him.
Did you say Hans?
Hans Hintzoff, yeah.
Hans. Oh, someone likes that stuff.
There you go. All right.
Hey, we put a beer tap in my buddy's shop out here.
You did.
Did he know about it?
Electrical shop. No, we did. No, I've got. I put
with permission. He did.
With permission. Okay.
And this thing has concrete walls, so we had to. But he's a master electrician, electrical contractor, so he's got all the tools to drill holes through concrete. So we did that. This TikTok video I made it just said beer hole, market beer hole where the tap needs to go through the wall.
Oh, the glory.
Beer hole. I gotcha.
And that guy.
Oh, I want to hear the rest of that story.
And then he just froze on us again. Hopefully you'll be back really, really soon on this one.
All right, come on.
Hopefully there was no blood involved. Dun, dun, dun.
There we go.
There we go.
There
all
it
right.
is.
So beer hole. We were at beer hole.
All the comments on this video are about our lack of PPE. We didn't take the dishes out of the sink. The guy, he's wearing sandals while he's doing it. And we're just acting like a bunch of jackasses. And they're like, I wouldn't hire this guy. And he's like, yeah, well, fuck him. I wouldn't hire him either. But anyways, what they don't know is that's just the main tap. We put a secondary tap. I split the line on this kegerator. And we have another tap that comes out in the shower. We have
that is
Love it.
not just a shower beer, a shower tap.
The shower
Beautiful.
tap. Yes. There you
They
go.
were
Yeah,
more
cheers to that one.
worried about the beer hole and our lack of PPE and standard practices than they were excited about the shower tap of beer, man. Come on.
That's what does the world come to?
So we always say out here in Terlingua that even the groundwater is very warm. So that we always say the C is for caliente.
Caliente,
So,
right.
C, like it's right next to the handle for the shower. So the C is for caliente and the H is for Hans.
Right. So you have a choice of caliente or hot, right? Exactly.
He's either really expressing the point or he's frozen.
He really likes that point, right? He's making that point. You know what? So some of the best shows are when Tony freezes. not during his frozen parts, but like when he before and after is my point. Like because he always never, if you notice, he never freezes in a bad position.
That's true. We've had people freeze in really bad positions.
Like that, or
he always looks good when he freezes.
He always looks good. It's a pose when he freezes.
He's constantly voguing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, did he freeze off the air again, or
permanently, or I don't know.
Well, like permanently, because last time wasn't even
there
permanently.
We go. He has dropped.
He has dropped. Let's see if he texts me again and says that shit dang, I just got a shit dang.
Wow, I didn't get a shit dang. I wish I had a shit dang.
Another flash should be up quickly.
I don't have a shit dang.
I don't have a shit dang either. So, we'll take this moment.
Tell him to send me a shit dang. I need a shit dang.
A shit dang. Dave needs a shit dang. Send him one, please.
Dang. Please send me a shit dang.
All right. So we'll take this moment to do some housekeeping. All right. Not cleaning, just housekeeping for the podcast and the service we provide. Right. Yeah. Okay. We'll mention it again during the outro, of course, but just so you all know,
and everybody stay tuned because John may or may not have changed the outro.
Oh no, I have. I'll say it right now. The outro.
Oh
no, I don't know. You're right. I might not have.
Yes. What is follow?
Kidding. Anyway. No, I wasn't even going to talk about the podcast parts, the audio parts. We'll talk about that in the outro. But as far as the website goes, we made some updates.
Yes.
We made some updates to the websites. We made some updates to the website.
www.loggerroom.com.
www.loggerroom.com. We've made some updates. There will be a lot more. We've been posting things on Facebook, but we've been neglecting the website.
We've been lax.
We've been a little lax.
And that's not just an airport in Los Angeles.
No, it is, and a nice airport it is. I've flown out of there.
No, it's
not
not.
Into.
It is not a nice airport.
Well, when I flew out, it was decent, and of course that was 1985. But that's besides the point.
No, that thing's a.
All right, more on this later. Tony is back. Here we go.
Oh, hi.
Hey, I'm glad you guys are getting to experience what life in far out west Texas
with what internet life is like out in far west Texas. Yes, absolutely.
We do have. So that's a thing, but reliability of it.
I got you.
Okay,
well, it's all good.
We get you. We didn't get any of it, but we get you.
Well, I appreciate your patience.
That's not a problem. It's all good.
Doctor.
So I'll tell you what. Why don't we, on that note,
jump
in case it does happen again, why don't we jump into our top 3 list for tonight?
All right.
And this top 3 list was brought to you by none other than Alacron.
Antonio Alacron is his top 3 list. So tonight's top 3 list, ladies and gentlemen, is top 3 favorite adventures. Top 3 favorite adventures. And they can be any adventures you want them to be. We've talked about beer before, so I have a feeling all 3 of us are going to stay away from that to some degree anyway.
And, what we both follow Tony on Facebook. I don't know that we have any adventures that are going to match up to some of the
None at all. No, I mean, Tony's Tuesday morning adventures are more exciting than my best adventures. So.
Yeah.
Is it? I don't see. It's because I never know what day it is.
That's why. That's the reason. That's exactly the reason.
last week, we went out with some friends to celebrate a birthday at this place called the Chinati Hot Springs, a really cool place I've never gotten to go before. And they're between all of us, we had the whole place rented out. I'm sitting around in this pool and drinking good beer and just having a good time. I'm like, man, it's gonna be a great weekend, y'all. And they're like, dude, it's Tuesday. I'm like, okay, well, it's gonna be a good week, I guess. Like,
Well, you're just anticipating, you having a very long weekend. That's all. So,
well, I appreciate you guys indulging me on this one and I want to hear yours first. Like, matter.
Yeah, we should probably build up to him.
Yeah, that's probably yeah. Because
we should probably build up to him because
we'll just be like. In fact, we should actually go in exact reverse because mine are even less than Dave.
Yeah, let's probably do that. You go first, John.
All right, this is a first, but I'm going first. There we go. All right. Look, I thought about it. Look, my trips, you know, I mean, they're exciting for me, right? But what Dave does as far as his adventures go, he kind of like one or two ups me, and I'm not even going to talk about Tony because that's, I
Yeah,
mean,
it's-
yeah, Dave
Well,
pales to Tony. So,
Different kind of adventure.
but
Don't
it's
sell
different kind of
yourself
adventure. No, I know. So mine are this. Here we go. This is
So
what-
Tony's adventures are those adventures where every guy's like, man, I really wish I could do that. And if they actually do, they're like, I want my Wi-Fi.
I know.
I can't do this. What do you mean?
Or,
there's no
I want
shower?
my Wi-Fi or I want my blankie. One of the
Yeah,
other.
I need where's the showers?
The general rule of thumb is that this kind of adventure only begins when your plans fail.
Right. Exactly.
Remember, no adventure ever started off with a salad.
No
That's
adventure
right.
started off with a salad. Right. Exactly. So, all right. So I thought about it. There's a couple things I'll mention something, but the ones I went with are as follows. They're trips I took, things I did. I'll give one honorable mention, and that would be in 2012. My oldest daughter graduated high school, so another trip with the kids before she went to college, right? So we went to Boston and Lake George. We took a week and a half, and went to Boston for a while in Lake George. So, and that was fun. Easy peasy. You know, we did a lot of, you know, didn't quite do a lot of brewery hopping as Jess and I do when we go to Boston all the time. We go to Boston a couple times a year, and it's all about it's all about, I mean, we do see some sights and stuff like that, but then we do some stuff that we normally do, and food, a lot of food. But we hit a lot of places for beer, for breweries and tap rooms and so forth and so on. We didn't do that with the kids, right? We did a little of that, but not a whole hell of a lot. So we did more of the historical stuff. We did the Paul Revere walk. We did the North Church. We did, which, and not just the bar across the street from the North Church, right? We did the USS Constitution and Old Ironsides and so forth. So anyway, so we did all that. That's my honorable mention. My number 3 is actually going to be from this year. And number 3 and number 2 are trips that I took with Jess. Number 3 is the Richmond Asheville DC trip. We talked about it when we got back. We took in February, and not just for the breweries we went to, but for the other stuff we did. If anybody paid attention to anything that I've talked about and trips that I take, Jess and Dave talks about it too. Jess likes to see the world's largest whatever, right? And this and that and everything.
But she still dates John.
And here you go.
Sorry, couldn't help it.
All right. Well,
Man.
you're wrong, but in any event, anyway. So I am the world's largest moron. So there you go. There you go. So she does win.
No, you know.
I think
There's
I
a
can
few
fight you
people
on
who
that one.
top you.
All right. No, you're right. There are people that are over me. Anyway, we know some of them. Anyway, the Richmond Asheville DC trip, that was great. We saw a lot of stuff in Richmond. We walked over the James River to the island over there, over the
right across the water. I mean, he's descended from Jesus.
we walked right over the water. In fact, I floated over. It was even better. Anyway, and a bunch of stuff in Asheville we saw, and DC when we got back, and we walked around. I've done DC before, but what we accomplished in one day in DC was amazing. It really was. Anyway, so that's my number 3. And my number 2 is the Midwest trip that we've talked about numerous times on the show. 10 days on the road, 50 breweries, but it was all the other stuff that we did too. It was all the other things we saw, the baseball hall, the football hall of
Under
fame.
the influence of 50 breweries, no less.
But the 50 breweries was the icing on the cake, right? But it was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Everything else you did was under the influence of the 50 breweries.
Oh, of course. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. But it was the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame at the beginning of the trip in Cleveland. It was the Football Hall of Fame towards the end of the trip in Canton, Ohio. It was the the baseball game we saw in Minnesota. It was going to Lambeau Field in Green Bay. It was walking on the Milwaukee River. It was walking on the Chicago River.
This is the second river you've walked on?
Along. How's that? Is that better? Is that your pain in the ass? Okay. But
get
everything
your
we did.
prepositions right.
My number one trip was the 1977.
All right.
My father packed up the family truckster.
You were 9.
My family packed up the family truckster. All right.
Oh shit! I did math. Sorry.
There's no math on this show. My family packed up. My father packed up the family truckster, and we drove to Florida. We stopped along the way. We stopped in Virginia. We drove, stopped in Virginia, stopped in Georgia, so forth and so on. Got down to Florida. Went to Daytona. Went to Disney for a while. Went over to Tampa. Came up the west coast of Florida. And what's that?
I said Disney World counts.
Disney World counts. That's why I went there. We talked about that.
Disney World's a beautiful thing.
Right? And it's funny too. And then we drove home. So that's always a memory to me. Whatchamacallit. And it was my first time to Disney too, as a matter of fact, obviously. Well, Disney was only 6 years old at the time, so But in any event, it was funny. We were talking about thunderstorms rolling in, Dave. I remember distinctly, and this is one of my memories of that trip. There was a huge thunderstorm when we were in Orlando, that trip, rolling in, and my father and I stood on the hotel deck looking west at the storm rolling in, and there was cobweb lightning. It wasn't just a flash, right? It was actually, you saw it was amazing. It was it was one of the best light shows from lightning I've ever seen.
Awesome.
So, there you go. Those are
one of my favorite things about living out here is this. I mean, just the raw power of all of it, and just to see it from all sides.
Sure.
I thought for sure you were going to say that being a brewery was one of your greatest adventures, but
you know what's funny? It's funny you say that. At first, I was like, okay, I think my number 3 is going to be joining the fire department and becoming a firefighter, and
that's an adventure.
Experiencing all of that, right? My number 2 was going to be opening a brewery, and my number 1 was going to be having kids.
Hey, yeah, I mean,
those are all adventures.
So you just did 2 top 3s in the.
I did 2 top 3s. There you go. Yes, I did it.
Awesome. Hey, and all of them are great. It's like, I think, if I had to guess one, the truest great adventure I've ever had is raising this kid. My number 1 best adventure ever was having my 3 kids. So
yeah, you didn't have.
And that's still going. So
raising my 3 kids.
There you go.
Creating my 3 kids.
That was a different adventure. That was a different adventure entirely. Creating them.
That goes in another show. Anyway. All right, Samurai, yours?
Well, I just opened a 4th beer.
You went with the Sakura.
Sakura. This is a cherry blossom Highlander Weiss. But we'll do that. It's funny because John, with you talking, so many friggin' adventures came back to me that I didn't originally put on the list. But one I will mention because you talk about the trip with your dad, my mom. We grew up with really not a lot of money, and my grandfather had some decent money, and he gave my mom money once for us to go on vacation. So she packed me and my little brother up into her Datsun B210 hatchback, Kermit Green.
Oh yeah,
and we went down to Shenandoah Valley. And the Datsun broke down halfway there, but we got it fixed because that's what Datsuns want to do. And I just remember this one point where she pulled over to this one area off of Skyline Drive, and I remember wandering off. And when you're a kid, you didn't think anything about wandering off. You never thought how much it just freaked your parents out. And I walked up the stream, and as I walked up the stream, there was a deer in the stream, and I was such a little kid at the time. I was probably 6, 7. The deer's starting to walk right up to me. I'm putting my hand out so I can touch the thing, and that's when my mom finds me and starts yelling at me. The deer runs off. But I'll always remember that trip was the only vacation that my mom ever was able to afford and take us on, and because of that, vacations to me are very, very important, especially with my kids, right? Because these things are memories. So when my kids graduate high school, I don't get them something. I don't get them a thing for their high school graduation. We go on a trip, and that's going to live with them forever. So that's what I do with them. So that's going to dominate my top 3, 2 of the 3 at least. Yeah, 2 of the 3. We lost Tony.
We lost Tony. He should have went first.
I know we should have went first. Are we going to get him back? Because he said he wanted to hear our adventures here.
Let's see what he's saying.
But John, when you brought up the fire department, you remember I told you in college I was in the fire department.
Yeah.
And one of the adventures was the first time I ever entered a burning building.
Yeah.
I did it without Scott back.
Which is stupid, but go ahead.
Well, no, because I wasn't in the portion that was actually on fire. I was really just creating a conduit to put in to cross ventilate the area of the building that was on fire.
He said, "Just another flash. Keep talking. I'll be right back."
So, but it was one of those things. My life is punctuated by doing something really, really cool, followed by something really stupid.
Right.
Because it was a college building, and for some reason we couldn't get facilities to show up with the keys to the back door. Mm-hmm. We'd already broken down the front door to get into it. Mm-hmm. And when I got there, they said, "Hey, the paid guys," because we were all volunteers, but there's a few paid guys on campus, said they need you in back. And I go in back, and they're holding a Halligan bar, and I was kind of the master of the Halligan bar. And I'm like, what do you guys want? They're like, to hand me the Halligan.
My friend Joey Halligan was more of a master, but
oh yeah, well, it's in the name. But they said, that door, we needed to go away. And John, you're familiar with that thing. Mm-hmm. That thing's a big solid piece of metal with all kinds of implements of destruction coming off of it. And I sunk the hook in the jam, put my foot on the concrete wall, haul back, and pop the thing right off, pop that door off its hinges.
I got to be honest with you, I have done it that way a few times. But the one thing, and depending on the door, right? Obviously, a steel door, you got to use that, or you're not getting in there, and you might not get in with it either. But 9 times out of 10, if it was a lighter door, I just kicked the fucker.
Oh well, see, the thing is, when I got into it, I was in a little storage closet. Like, well, what do you got? So in the storage closet, there's a door here, an interior door. They're like, okay, and so
he's outside now. Now he's outside.
So I take my glove off, run my hand along the door. It's just slightly warm. Mm-hmm. So like, okay, open the door. So I kicked the door in. They're like, you didn't have to kick the door in. I'm like, yeah, but when am I going to get another chance?
Exactly.
So anyway,
try before you pry. Anyway, go ahead.
What a punchline.
I don't even know what happened. When did you get that chance? So Tony, I had started in on my top 3. I'd given an honorable mention based on a trip I took with my mom. Mm-hmm. But it was that trip I will always remember. So what I was saying was that it's important for me to take my kids on vacation. As a matter of fact, when they graduate high school, rather than buying them a thing, I take them on vacation. It's something that's always going to live with them, right?
I'm a firm believer in that, man. Experience over a physical gift.
Yeah, sure. Over possessions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Right.
If I've learned anything from my kid, she's like the smartest one of any of us so far. It's that she never try to give her anything.
Isn't that always true, right? The kids are smarter. Yeah. It's amazing.
Well, ideally, yes.
Well, my oldest son, it's funny because he is smarter than me, but he once said to me, he's like, because someone said to him, you're just like your father. And he said, well, yeah, except that I'm smarter. And I looked at him, I said, the fact that you just said that tells me you're wrong.
Right.
And he laughed because he knew damn well, because the one thing I raised him to be is never think you're the smartest person in the room. Because if you think you're the smartest person in the room, you will not listen and you will not learn.
That's some advice somebody gave me once. Is that if you ever think you're the smartest person in the room, get out of that room.
Yeah, exactly. Because you don't belong there.
What I learned
now.
What I learned along the way, that works both ways. If you're an idiot, you still need to get out of that room. And if you're really truly smarter than everybody in that room, you need to get out of that room.
You still need to get out of that room, yeah.
So we'll start with my younger son. When he graduated high school, I asked him where he wanted to go. And he said Yellowstone. And at first, I looked at out of Billings, and it was really expensive coming out of Billings. So I told him, I said, I don't know that I can afford that. Let's try something else. So we came up with a backup. I said, no, you know what? The deal was they get to go where they want to go. So I did it out of Salt Lake. It was so much cheaper doing it out of Salt Lake. Yes, there's more driving, but there's more things to see. So we wound up going to Yellowstone. And one thing that really stuck out from that trip was he wanted to go up to this one viewpoint. First, it was going to be this little short hike, so we didn't even bring water with us. and said, "Oh, let's go up to the viewpoint." Turned to a much longer hike to the point when we got up to the viewpoint he wanted to see. There was women begging me to take water from them because they thought I was going to die. But because of that, him and I have a saying between us, and it comes from somewhere else. I can't remember where this phrase comes from, but it comes from The Hangover 3, I believe. But did you die? And so that is because I bitched him out about it. He's like, "But did you die?" I'm like, "No." So that's a saying. So that'll always be a top adventure for me. Just those memories that I forged with my younger son. The next one is a double banger, because when I went to Italy, with Carrie, it was our first international trip together. But my son was stationed. My older son, the one who was supposed to be smarter than me, was stationed in Italy at Aviano Air Force Base. A couple things really stick out from that. Our first day, we had probably one of the best meals I've ever had in my life at a place called Tre Figari in Val di Biadne. Oh my God, that was such a great meal. But adventures sometimes have misfortunes that you need to overcome.
That's what makes them an adventure.
Oh, yeah. And we went to Trieste. As far east as we got on that trip. And we wanted to go to this one restaurant. I found this one parking garage that I thought was a co-op. So we parked in there. We go to the restaurant. We come back out. The parking lot's locked and closed. Apparently, the co-op parking lot was for the grocery store, which was a co-op. And when the grocery store closed, the parking lot closed. So now we've got to spend the night in Trieste. It is the Saturday before Easter. So you can imagine how inexpensive the hotels were. Right. I think we got the last room in Trieste. Get up the next day, we go back to the garage. It's still locked and closed because it's Easter. Amongst all the paraphernalia on the wall, I see this one little call box. And I walk up to it and I press the button. And someone answers like, "My car is locked in here and I need it out." They say something in Italian. I say something back in broken Italian. They say something in Italian. I say something back in English. Next thing I know, the gate goes up. I was like, "Whatever, just get it out of here." That whole moment saved Easter for me. So that whole trip was a big thing. And we did the podcast from there. We hear Johnny and I a couple of times in the show go, "Very nice." That comes from that particular trip. Yeah. But the number one venture that I had is because of a moment. My old guy I roomed with in college, this guy Bill, him and I really did a lot of hiking. And we're going through the Adirondacks in New York. We go to Lake Placid, and we pass the high peaks, and we look at them, and we're like, "Yeah, we're never getting up in there." No, one day we decide we're getting up in there, and we go up this. We go up Mount Marcy, the tallest mountain in New York. And there's a lot of things. I'm not going to get into all the details about it, but when we come down, Bill's got to go back to work. He gets to his GP. He goes. He starts driving up to the Finger Lakes, and I go to this cafe, and I just heard thunder. Nice. I go to this cafe, and I'm sitting on the sidewalk of Lake Placid. I'm looking at white face in the background mountain. I'm eating my blueberry pancakes, drinking my coffee, and I'm writing in my hike journal. I'll put my hike journal down, take a sip of coffee, and I just look at the surroundings around me. And I think it was the first time ever I was truly present, where I was there in the moment. There was no thoughts of what had just occurred. There was no thoughts of the future. It was just, here I am on the sidewalk at a table with my coffee, looking at these mountains and just absolutely being there. And the moment passed, of course, as these usually do. And it occurred to me, is this what Ernest Hemingway felt like all the time? Right?
Too much.
It's like, and so it's that moment is one of my favorite moments that I can recall. It was because of that experience, that adventure of going up and climbing the highest mountain in New York State. which was actually kind of a failure because we actually didn't climb that first. We missed it. Not that we missed it. We had to bypass it, climb another mountain first, then climb it. But yeah, that moment, that particular adventure will always live. And there's a lot of
What year was that?
Oh, geez.
Roughly.
More than 2 years ago. I could look it up. I don't know. It's over 20 years ago, John.
So
I can tell you that right now.
Back when you could actually hike that far.
It's insane how much because we had everything on our back.
Yeah,
we had our tents. Well, we had the camp stove. We had the cookware. We had all of our food, including
over 20 years ago. It's fine. There you go.
It was, and the things that we came across a German model who was looking for something she lost on the trail. Well, we were preparing to hike up, and then we were going to hike up a haystack. We come across this Indian guy who asked if we could.
Was selling you fireworks? Wait a minute, This is Joe Dirt. Okay.
No, he's like, can I peek this with you because my wife doesn't mind me hiking alone in the woods, but when I actually go up a mountain, she makes me, hike with somebody else. So he comes up with us, and it was like really rainy, and the rain's coming in sideways. So I got this picture somewhere of the three of us sheltering beside a boulder, just laughing our asses off, having a good time. A couple weeks later, I got a picture of him at the top of Kilimanjaro.
Nice.
Yeah, he was. It was a lot of cool stuff happened on that trip.
All right, Tony.
All right. First, I just want to say I realized the light changed when I came outside, but it was hot in there, and I don't want to run the air conditioning while we're on.
It's all good.
I feel like I'm on the witness protection program.
What you need to do is you so we can
I didn't change it, but I kind of like it.
We need to pixelate your
I
voice.
actually really like this. We're gonna use that. I'm gonna use that.
Yeah.
The next time you're on the show, this is gonna be your.
Please, man, I'd love that.
And
I don't even know.
And the guest will just be question mark.
I'm pretty new to using a MacBook. I've been a PC and Android guy my whole life, but I'm trying to. I've got a MacBook now, but I don't even know how to take a screenshot. So
you do know that if you hit the brake pedal and the gas pedal at the same time in your car, the car takes a screenshot.
Oh, right. No, I did not. But thank you.
And if you believe that, I got a bridge to sell you. Anyway.
All right. So top 3 adventures. Number 3, I'm going to go with, this was in 2007, around Father's Day. We had applied for the permit to hike the Grand Canyon, rim to rim, from the North Rim to the bottom up the South Rim. We'd applied for this backcountry permit for 3 years in a row. And they start accepting permits at 12:01 a.m. on January 1st. And three years in a row, on the 3rd year, we get our 3rd choice of date. Like, it's not an easy thing to get into. So, so at the time, I was not prepared for this trip. And then we found out we got the permit, and I had not done any training whatsoever. I've been sort of an outdoors person my whole life, but this was going to be the furthest out I'd ever been.
That's an unforgiving hike too,
and the least prepared for almost anything. So I get my things together. I actually used the pack I used on this trip was one I got off of from Marlboro Miles, if you remember those.
Oh yeah.
So it was nice and professional and comfortable.
Oh yeah, no, it was actually it's a pretty good pack. I still have it today.
Okay.
And it was actually pretty well made, but it was like just the irony of smoking enough cigarettes to get a pack you can hike through the Grand Canyon.
Hike to the Grand Canyon with, yeah, exactly.
That's awesome.
So anyway, we do this. We set off on this thing, and like any trip we'd ever done, and I will ever do, no matter how hard the beer logistics are, we bring beer. And so this pack I took down there, it was 50 something pounds, all said and done. And nearly, I learned so much on this trip, but nearly everything that
did you learn this one thing, that when you've been hiking, especially downhill with a pack that heavy, that when you take it off, that first step is a Lulu.
Oh yeah.
Because you're so used to compensating for it that when you take
Right.
it off, you take that first step. Most people fall flat on their damn face.
It's like sea legs, you know.
It's hilarious to watch.
So, but this trip inadvertently taught us a lot of things. You know, we probably could have done a little research, found out a few of them ahead of time. But so I obviously overpacked. I even took tools with me, man, because I was Tony the plumber back then, and not anything. I mean, but here's the thing: every
Did you bring a monkey wrench with you?
no, but I have a very basic set of tools that I keep with me at all times, and every
I have
vehicle.
a very specific set of tools.
Well, I have a lot of tools.
I will
have
find you,
lots of specific sets of tools, but there is one set,
and I will tighten you.
and there are only 3 things in it, and I can fix, you know, a good 70% of problems. I walk into convenience stores all the time and fix their toilets, and then take
Really?
a free drink. No, I mean I have done this numerous times.
Please,
Like,
please,
hey,
please tell me it's not from the toilet. They could take.
You
the free
don't have to
drink,
no, you don't have to jiggle the
Hey,
handle anymore.
the water's
I'm just
colder
kidding.
there.
though. That's true.
I tell them I ripped the sign off the wall. You don't have to jiggle the handle anymore. I'm just going to take this Mountain Dew with me, and they let me. Nobody's ever told me no. So anyway, I had a bunch of unnecessary shit in this pack, but I did have a 6-pack of beer.
You
And
could probably phrase that better. After a
2000,
You said toilet comment, right?
2007, you could barely get a good beer in a can in Texas. You know, like
Really?
we had to, and the best I could do, and it was really good. It was the Bombshell Blonde from Southern Star, who
I've had that.
the very first brewery in Texas to can beer, and that was the very first beer they canned, and that was right after they started canning it. So like that was like what you could get.
Oh,
So
wow.
I took a 6-pack, and it turns out I was the only guy on the whole trip that brought any beer.
Really?
So you were quite popular.
Well, sort of, yes. But we get down, we hike down from the north rim, was the most remote rim of the canyon.
Yeah.
We hike down from that, and we get halfway down to the first camp, and we all realize how stupid heavy our packs are, and how we've just fucked up, and we still got to get to the bottom and go all the way up to the top. So
It's the up that's a bitch with a heavy.
I decide on the first night, without telling anybody, I just say, "Hey guys, dinner's on me tonight. Like I'm gonna cook everything I got." Oh well, I cooked everything I had. I knew everybody brought food. They all had food. I cooked all the stuff that was in my pack, and I said, "Let's drink that beer too." I was shedding weight, man, and they figured me out as soon as dinner was done.
They started distributing the weight.
Right? No. I got to carry on because I pulled one over on them. They were proud of me.
Oh.
Very good.
Anyway,
Very good.
we took this 6-pack of beer. Is all we had.
I'll
And
choose
we
that.
walked down to go sit in one of the tributary springs of the canyon, and it's so cold, you know, like, so we take a mesh bag and we drop this beer in the water, and like you can barely sit in this water. It's probably 40 degrees, and we wait and the longer you sit in it, the better you feel. And sure enough, it comes time to check it, and by that time a couple other hikers had sat in the water with us, and they're all hanging out, and I pull up this mesh bag, and he says, "Hey, you think it's ready yet?" And I pull it up, and I look at it and I go, "Yeah, it feels pretty good." And that guy goes, "You guys brought your own beer?" I was like, "Hell yeah, man, we bring our beer everywhere we go, you know?" And he goes, Can I have one?" And I was like, "No, dude, this shit's heavy, man. You gotta carry your own beer down here." But then we get to the bottom and we find out that they sell beer down at the Phantom Ranch. They've got they had Budweiser and Tecate. And by the time we walked into this little cantina where they have the, you know, a little bit of food, a little bit of beer, there was several people in there already drinking. So we joined them. We made a pyramid of cans that night, bottom of the Grand Canyon. But we did cut it short because we knew
Yeah,
we had
you
to hike
know,
up 2 days. So
Yeah.
anyway, that trip taught us everything we need to know, and most importantly, as when the El Canyoneros were born, we know that it should be Los Canyoneros, but we called ourselves El
El
Canyoneros.
Canyoneros.
But the most important thing we learned that is
Spanish?
defined our trip since, that we if we just started canoeing, we could put all that stuff in a boat instead of a backpack, and yeah, you can take a lot more and have, you know, like a lot more fun. You just get a little
and
more
let the mighty Colorado do its job.
right. So that's number 3. Number 2 would be which leads into number 1. They're number 3 and number 1, or number 2 and number 1 are connected. Number 2 was taking my daughter. Her mom moved away to Seattle for several years, and so all the time we had to cherish. So I would. That's why, honestly, why after I gave up the plumbing business, I've kept very contract work and everything, so that when it was time to have fun with my kid, that I could leave everything behind, and we could work on the run or whatever. And we made the most of every minute we had. But I took her on a road trip from along the route of which we used to take the beer liner from Austin to West Texas to Albuquerque, Santa Fe, and then up through the mountains, up to Pagosa, across Wolf Creek Pass into the Rockies, and into Denver. And it was a recon trip, and it was actually, it was good. I needed to do this for the fundraising events we were doing, but I got to take her along, and she got to meet some of these people that I work with, and we got to see. We stopped everywhere. We stopped at. I have probably 6 different state line photos of this kid from that trip, and just all the things. Man, I ate too much sauerkraut. 3 meals in a row.
Lovely.
We got to the top of Pikes Peak, and I bought her a little. I asked her if she wanted something from the gift shop, and she picked this
gas mask, Dad.
No, well, she picked this bighorn sheep, a stuffed animal, and we'd seen some bighorn sheep, and I was like, oh, that's really cute. And then, we get rolling down Pikes Peak, and the sauerkraut hits again, and she just takes this sheep and she just puts it up against her face.
So she got a gas mask.
I was like, is that why you bought that? And then so she banned me from eating sauerkraut for the rest of the trip.
That's great.
But
That's
on
fair.
a very beer-centric journey that I was used to taking, it was the first time I'd taken my daughter, but arguably she knows more about beer than most of the people I've done, I've taught about beer. The kid's been learning it since day one. She's got an incredible palate that she has not ruined like all the rest of us yet. She's probably getting to the point. But
what year was that?
What's that?
What year was that?
That was I would say that was probably 2014, if I had to guess.
I love that you went through Albuquerque. There's a story with my daughter. I was trying at one point to get her first word to be Albuquerque. And little kids, they can't say, hospital correctly. It's hospital, right?
Yeah.
Though because of her 2 older brothers, she could perfectly enunciate by 3 zombie apocalypse.
Oh.
Not pockeyclips, apocalypse. So I figured I could use this. So I taught her that the zombie apocalypse was going to start in the Albuquerque hospital. So one of these days, I really want to take her to Albuquerque, or go to Albuquerque, find some person and pay them to dress like a zombie, find the hospital, and have them in the background while I take a picture and freak her the fuck out.
There you go.
Well, listen, if you need some help with that, I've got a lot of friends there.
We can work on it.
I'll let you know.
And remember, all you had to do was really just play over and over and over again, play the Weird Al Yankovic song Albuquerque.
Yeah, it didn't work.
Hey,
but if you really want people to think you've been there and you know what you're talking about, you say the Burke.
Albuquerque.
But if I had to pick between Albuquerque and Santa Fe, I always pick. We used to rotate every year which one we go through, but the Burke is my favorite, man. It's,
well, what about Taos? What do you feel about Taos?
Taos is good. I mean, so is Santa Fe for that matter.
Skiing Taos is good, but Santa Fe.
I'd prefer things a little less overdone. And
Fair enough.
Marfa is the equivalent out here, and it is more than any of those in the context of where it sits. It's more than any of those things are to where they sit.
Okay.
So think about how over the top you might think Santa Fe is in some context, or even Taos for that matter. I'd take Taos over Santa Fe. I don't hate Santa Fe. I got a lot of love for that town, but it's a thing, and it's just not my thing. And I'm okay with that.
All right. So you're number one.
You're number one.
And I have a couple that I had really kind of went back and forth on because I have a lot of fun out in the wild, but I wanted to make this one the truly beer centric one. But my number one adventure is for this in this realm tonight will be driving that beer liner bus from Austin to Denver every year for years straight. We did some wild stuff, man. Like I wrote a song about this. You know, the old Buck Owens didn't write it, but he's pretty well known for singing it. The Truck Driving Man.
Yeah.
Throw another nickel in the jukebox and play that old Truck Driving Man.
My grandfather's a truck driver, so yeah, I know it.
I rewrote the lyrics of that song to tell, and I'll send you an audio link later. It's not something I've recorded it, but I haven't finished everything, so I'll send you a rough cut. But I rewrote that song to tell the story of us on the Beerliner, and it wasn't at all just me. I mean, there was I would not have done any of these things without the crew and the opportunity. But man, it was some legendary stuff, and the lures of Texas beer. Drive this old '74 Bluebird school, a Bluebird tour bus. And it broke down every time we drove it, and just getting it up from Texas, it would break down. We'd tow it into Denver. We'd do the event anyway. It would sit there for a couple months sometimes, and then we'd get it back to Texas. And it was always something. And in our peak year of doing this, and it became a great fundraiser for men's prostate health awareness. We did a lot of work for that. The guy that owned the bus, his brewmaster had beat prostate cancer twice because of early detection. And so we did a lot of things with that. But in our peak year, it was 2015, I believe. We had beers donated from over 50 breweries across Texas, and we took to Denver across multiple state lines, 387 cases of beer,
Wow.
and 85 kegs, and we rented out the parking lot across from the Great American Beer Fest. We got a huge chunk of that, almost half of that parking lot, and set up an event there. And people jokingly called it the Great Texas Beer Festival because we did it right outside. I mean, we tailgated the Great American Beer Festival. We had permits to do it, and they knew what we were doing. They allowed it to happen. We weren't trying to. I mean, in earlier years, we were definitely clandestino, but we got on the up and up. And we got all the permits and everything. And but it was a really cool thing. We did blood screenings on site, so people could come in and like get a PSA screening. We had breweries from all over Texas there representing their own beers, set up at booths. We had the Beerliner pouring beers, Cheech and Chong movies playing on the screen. And on Friday night of the Great American Beer Festival,
Dave's not here, man.
Guinness does not do. They're not recognized alcohol records. But we shotgunned at least
which is ironic.
Correct.
You shotgunned? No.
We shotgunned at least 800 beers. We got everybody. I mean, this parking lot was completely full. It was
I wouldn't have believed it if you didn't say that you were involved. So
the world's largest shotgun. And I've never found any evidence before or after that like proves anybody's ever done anything close to this. And the audio alone of this thing, just 800 beers, like the wave of that sound. I'm gonna save that somehow from the one video.
Yeah,
almost everybody was shotgunning a beer. Only one guy from Middleton Brewing and down in the Hill Country in Texas. He's the only guy that got any video footage of this entire thing that I've ever seen. All these years later.
That's awesome. I'd love to see it. I'd love to put it up on the website.
It's still there on Middleton Brewing's Instagram. You just got to scroll way back.
Middleton Brewing's Instagram. What year was that about?
That was probably there was either 14 or 15. But we raised over $4,000 in 30 seconds for the prostate cancer initiative, and it was.
I'm loving the synchronicity right now between your adventures and my family. She brought up Albuquerque. They brought my daughter. But now you're talking, a truck driving song and prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is what took my truck driving grandfather. And so the fact that you did this to raise awareness and money for prostate, cheers to you, sir. Cheers to you.
Yeah, we haven't cheers since the beginning of the show, so cheers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we were like 5 or 6 in the beginning, and then we need.
On that note, one of the years when we were on the way up there, we had, the Beerliner. We would do a reverse Smokey and the Bandit. The Beerliner was the Firebird, right? It's the thing that would attract the attention, so you couldn't keep the beer in there. We got a box truck, like just a unmarked box truck that we kept all the beer in. So if I ever got pulled over, which happened often, there were cops that pulled me over just to see the inside of that thing, man. And, yeah. Well, it's funny until you had, weed in there, and they're like, "Yeah, what's that?" You know, like, we never
oregano.
get
It's oregano.
it's
It's basil.
Colorado, man.
It's basil. It's basil.
We're making pizzas.
Yeah.
So,
But anyway, we get a flat tire in that box truck outside of just south of Chama, New Mexico, which is north of Santa Fe, and there ain't hardly anything there. We get a flat tire there, and outside of town, we have to limp it into town. So I drive the bus ahead, and I can't find anybody that works on tires, and they tell me there's this old trucking yard south of town. So I drive back over there, and I pull up, and you know, no kidding, these three old guys are just sitting there on a couple of stumps, and they're just looking at each other, not even talking. We're just looking at each other. And I pull up in this bus, says beer liner on the side. We got beer taps and TVs and whatnot. And I said, "Hey, they said you guys could fix a tire." And he says, "Well, we used to." And he says, he goes, "On that thing?" I said, "No, that's not on this. We got a truck following us." And he's like, "We ain't got no tow truck." I was like, "Well, we're trying to figure that out too." And he's like, "Well, we'll see." And sure enough, about that time, the guy had limped the truck and he finally made it to the yard. And these three old guys, they changed this tire by hand. They did it manually. They don't have the equipment anymore. But watching these three old men like use crowbars and stuff to peel this tire off the rim, and it was the one on the inside of the dually. And he looked at me and says, "It's always on the inside." And he knew
always on the inside.
the outside. The outside one's easy to change. You don't even have to take the rim off. You know, you can do it all.
Oh.
And now we've lost them.
Come on, you can do it all. You can do it all. You can do it all. Come back. You can do it all.
That sky was all grumbly and growly, and you knew it was a matter of time before we dropped them.
Oh, that sucks. Well, you knew where the rest of it was going.
Yes, but to hear Tony tell it,
it's better.
Is part of the adventure.
Will he be back? Will he be back? Will he be back? Could he come back? Is it going to happen?
Do we have the money? We have the technology.
We have the technology. I like that. I have a very specific set of tools. Come on. Is he going to come back? Is he going to come back and say goodnight at least and finish the story? Come on. Well, anyway, until we find out. Yep, he's gone.
He's gone.
All right. Well, we'll I'll see if he's. I got this up. We'll see if he is going to come back or not. And then we'll go from there. But I'll tell you the story really quick while we wait for him. Whatchamacallit, as far as like the fire department goes, we were talking about that. Like one story that you talked about that one call. I mean I could go on all night with telling the quote unquote war stories, right?
Yeah.
But this one.
Yeah, I had one, and I told most of it.
Yeah, I had many. But in two different towns too. I was on two different departments.
Yeah.
But in any event, the one I was thinking about was Saturday night. It's about 12:30 at night. I got another shit dang. Let me just ask.
I still haven't gotten the shit dang. I'm gonna text him. I want a shit dang.
I'll just say good night. Or no. LOL. There we go. Anyway, so 12:30 Saturday night. One Saturday night, we got a call. Activated alarms in a house. Smell of something burning. So we get down there, and I'm on the first line in. We're downstairs. Lights are still on. Electric's still on. We smell something burning, right? And it's a cape. There's a door to the stairs that go up towards
a Cape Cod. It's not a cape that's burning.
No, it's a Cape.
Batman's not on fire.
Cape Cod style house, right? So stairs that go up to the side of the house, and then there's the long across for the second floor. Anyway, and then so we head up the stairs, and sure enough, there's a fire upstairs, but it's in the other room in the far back. So I fog vent. The chief says fog vent out the window. Pull the fire out. I saw it. It was the weirdest thing. It's actually like floating out of the room, right? I turn around and I couldn't get the hose up around the corner at that point. And there's like a railing at the top of the stairs going back along upstairs once you get up there, right? So I'm laying on my back and I'm pushing the fire back into the room that it was burning from. It was textbook, right? The truck company goes up, they open up a vent hole. I got the fire knocked down back into that room. I picked the hose up, pull it over the railing, went in, got the fire out. My pack goes off. Me and my partner, my buddy Mark, we go out, and a couple guys go in for overhaul. Fire out, right? Done. So, So we're outside for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, and the chief comes over and says, "You guys want to go back up and check out where you were?" At this point, obviously, it's all out. Overhaul's done. They get the lights, electric and the lights gone up there, and then so we go back up, and Tony's back.
All right.
And Tony's back. There we go.
Nice.
So just finishing the story. So it's a fire I was talking about, and so Mark and I go back up there. Anyway, so it's another room, a second room where the fire was burning, and it came out right into the room we were in when we knocked it back in. The whole door frame is burnt away. The whole wall outside that room is all burnt and all singed, right? The ceiling and the walls are all burnt and singed. Right next to the door on that wall that's all burnt and singed is a picture of Jesus.
Not burnt.
The frame around the picture is all burnt away. The plexiglass, it wasn't glass. It was plexiglass covering of because you see it was all melted down. The picture was perfect. There wasn't a mark on the picture. So that's my weirdest, strangest story about that. Yeah.
But we lost Tony in the middle of three old guys fixing
fixing
the inside of the dually.
They're changing the tire, and they get it all done. And I said, well, I've got the boss's credit card, so I've got all the money that we would need to pay for anything, but we don't have any cash. And I said, well, how much do we owe you? And he says, $60. And I was like, would you take credit cards? He's like, no, we haven't taken credit cards in 30 years. And so I'm like, well, I don't know what to do. Well, the guy donated a tire. A guy in town, they called a friend of theirs that donated the tire. And the reason he gave us a tire for free because we're doing a prostate cancer initiative, and his grandfather had passed away from prostate cancer, and that was his donation to the cause. So we were down to $48, and we had $42, I think, between us in cash. And so we have to pay these old guys. And I said, I tell you what, I don't have enough money, but can I hook you up with some beer too? In partial trade? And he says, sure. And I opened the back of this truck he's been working on, and it's got 387 cases.
Oh!
Are you guys bootleggers?
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
He says, are you guys bootleggers? And I go, well, I mean, I guess sort of.
Maybe.
Kind of, sort of.
Like,
not really, but maybe in this particular.
So we gave him 6 cases at $42 and 6 cases of beer, and we got our tire and we got back on the road.
They made out 6 cases of beer at $42. That's way more than $60. So
well, for sure, but I knew these guys are probably still sitting on half of that.
And that was 8 years ago, right?
Right.
Yeah.
If they're still
Anyway, the beer lighter was one of the greatest beer adventures of my entire life, for sure.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. Awesome. All right. So what's coming up for you other than the Vancouver trip and the possible Denver stop off to get together?
But I think he's frozen again, John.
Is he?
Yeah, he is.
Oh no, he's back. He's back.
That's temporary.
We might ought to just say goodbye. This storm is
probably the best thing. Well, that's what I was saying. What's up for you other than the Vancouver trip and the possible Denver stop off?
Well, I'm going to stick around here, and here I was going to show you what's happening.
Oh, that's coming in.
That's a dark sky. A little lighter over there.
There's the mountains behind me. You can't even see them right now. Normally, you can see the.
Oh yeah,
yeah, we've seen them before when you've been on.
So here, hold on. Here, these are the mountains behind him that you can't see. Here, Tony, put that there. These are the mountains. Those are the mountains.
Here they are.
Yep.
That's the same view from this porch, but you can see a little piece of them back there. But really nice to get some rain out here. So I've got quite a few projects. I'm working on my first photo book out here.
Nice.
And
it's the first show in a while that you haven't sent me like 20 pictures to put up during the show.
Yeah. I've been super busy. I just got done shooting the biggest music fest that happens out here.
Oh, nice.
It's called Viva Big Band. I've been there since that's like Wednesday through Sunday. So I've been shooting that all weekend. But right before that, I shot a couple of album cover shots, and I did a a couple.
Are those the ones where you're like look like ivory with gold trim?
No, that's some new stuff I'm working on. This photo editing app I use added some AI functionality, so I started playing around with some of the images I've been shooting over the last couple of months, and
Nice.
I'm actually doing a virtual. They call it a bit res, so it's a virtual residency on Collab Projects. Bitres is on Instagram, so I'll be posting some art stuff on there, not just photography.
Nice.
Cool.
Some of the little side stuff I've been working on. It's been hot, man. The summer's been cooking my brain out.
Oh
here.
yeah. I was gonna say I wish I had a filter on here that I could put on your voice because you went back into that witness protection, but
You went back to the shadow realm.
I'm having a good time out here in the not desert. Well, you know, the good thing is, if I was in witness protection here, nobody would believe that I was in Texas.
Exactly.
I got palm trees and mountains. Yeah.
Yeah. Where on earth else are you going to see palm trees and mountains? Exactly. So.
Well, hey, man, it's been a real pleasure hanging out with you guys, man. As
always.
It's been too long.
Keep in touch with me. Let me know what you might be able to do with Vancouver and Denver, and we'll figure something out.
And I want a shit dang text. Sean's gotten 2. I haven't gotten a shit. I need a shit dang text.
Okay. Well, I mean, every time the power cut out tonight, I was like, shit dang.
I know.
So yeah, go ahead and get back to your guests and your daughter.
I shall.
And avoid exactly. And we'll talk to you. Keep let me know what's going on with that, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you so much for coming on, Tony. I appreciate it.
There you go.
You got it. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right.
One more
Good
cheers.
night, fellas.
Good night, Tony. Take care.
All righty.
All right.
All that's left to say is the outro.
All that's left to say is the outro. On that note, we will wrap up the show for today. We want to thank everybody for watching. And for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thank you for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.loggerroom.com. That's LAGERROOM.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, our YouTube channel. All of them are at The Logger Room. Remember, we go live with a video podcast on Facebook, on both Facebook and YouTube, every Tuesday night around 6:30 p.m. Eastern time.
Next week might be a little different.
Pay attention to that one. Might be a little earlier. And for those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, here's where it gets different, folks. For those of you who just want to listen to the audio podcast, you can do so
in the making.
You can do so on our brand new host, Spreaker. Okay, it is an app, and you can access it through the web.
Is it Spreaker or Spreaker?
Spreaker. It's SPREAKER.com, and it has. You can download an app too, and you can actually listen to our audio right on Spreaker, as well as Apple Podcast, Spotify, TuneIn, Stitcher temporarily, because Stitcher is going away at the end of August.
Yes, it is. Google
Podcast, Amazon Music Podcast, iHeartRadio, and some brand new platforms: Castbox, Deezer, Podcast Addict, and Podchaser.
Deezer, I like that name.
Yeah, it's good.
These are some nuts.
These are some nuts. There you go. These are some nuts right here. Okay. Anyway, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to one or more of any of those feeds, and you will never miss a show. Again, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Don't forget to vote for Dave's how many Guinnesses he's going to drink in Ireland. And so you could possibly win something. And we will talk to you next week, folks. Take care. Cheers.
And next week, I'll see you from Ireland.
Dave will see you from Ireland. I'll be right here.
Right there in that room.
Right here.
With all those cans.
I might be wearing something Guinness related. I'm not sure yet. We'll have to see.
I maybe as well.
Exactly.
If I want to pack it.
If you want to pack it. Exactly. Cheers, folks.
Cheers.